It's amazing. So much has grown since the last time we went on a tour together.
I'm Lorella. This is Plan B Orchard and Farm, where we're all about helping you take small, manageable steps towards a more peaceful and sustainable lifestyle.
As usual, we are going to cut the garden into thirds. We'll start back here in the arches. Then we'll get this middle section where the strawberry bed is down to a trellis over there. And then we will end up in the far end of the garden back there. It's amazing. So much has grown since the last time we went on a tour together. And I've got a few trouble spots I want you to take a look at with me. The obvious big new attraction in my garden is right here. It's my stock tank pool. I love coming out here and relaxing, sitting in it and just floating around, enjoying the afternoon or evening. It's a perfect place to be. I've also kind of prettied up this area over here. I added a chandelier, look, and it has twinkly lights. It's so pretty when it's lit up at night. For a reminder, we're gonna look at arch 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the arches end of the garden. Here's arch number 1. Cucumber plants. And I'm working on vining them up. I still have shade cloth. It's stupid hot here in Missouri. Next week we're gonna have temperatures over 100 almost every day. So the plants still need some shade, but once these vine up more, then I'll be taking the shade off. So, and the cucumbers are doing really good. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a little fourth one there. I mean, there's all sorts of them. Oh, look, and I think I just saw some little baby ones. Look at those, they're so cute. So I will definitely be coming in to harvest cucumbers tomorrow morning. I trellis most of my melons and squash, so every day I just come in and I take the tops and just train them up like so. There's another couple more cucumbers under there. On this side of arch number 1, I have Hale's Best Cantaloupe. I think I'm going to take these long vines that are coming out and train them up. Squash bugs. Squash bugs are so bad. Growing next to those cantaloupe are Roma tomatoes, and they're starting to fall over. So I need to come back in here with some plant tape and tape them up. I have plant tape. Look right here. Dun, dun, dun. The first little bitty tomatoes. Yay! Here's arch number 2. I have butternut squash growing there. There's some kale growing down below. This is a pool just basically for that twisty reedy grass that I like. I probably need to clean that out though. The dog likes to jump in there and cool off on hot days. I don't let him in the other pool with me. And then this is Blacktail Mountain watermelon. And I have lots of butternut squash on the vine. There's a nice big one. Here's another little guy right here. Next we have arch number 3. And in here we have tiger melon going nuts. It's just vining up wonderfully. And look, there's our first little tiger melon right there. Hi! I've never eaten tiger melon. I don't know what it tastes like. They're small fruit. I will let you know after I try it. Oh, there's another little one right there. Yay! Oh man, it's going so good. Oh, good. Look, 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 look. Another one. Yay! That's so exciting. All right, here's my zucchini plant that's just going gangbusters. And I'm sure I have zucchini to harvest also. Oh yeah, look at that. 1, 2, 3, probably 3 ready to harvest tomorrow morning first thing. This is another kind of cantaloupe. What is this one called? Minnesota midget. So here's our first little Minnesota midget right back there doing wonderfully. Hello, friend. Do we only have one so far? I don't know if I'm gonna train these up or just let them grow on the ground. Haven't decided. Now my tomatoes, these are Jetstar. They're doing good, but they're not turning red. And so I need to find out whether they're just not a red variety. But I did read that when it's super hot, sometimes tomatoes don't turn colors. They just don't ripen well. And it has been crazy hot. My kale's quite bug eaten. That's pretty bad, but it's growing nicely. And then this is a different type of kale. In between arch 3 and 4, I've got things growing. I've got the Thai sweet basil, eggplant, which looks like it's putting on fruit. Yay, right there. Woohoo! I've never grown eggplant before, so this is fun. And then, oh, there's a tomato. That is, oh, what is that one called? Purple something? Right, another eggplant. Another eggplant. And then the other tomatoes down there. Here is arch number 4 with my chairs and my chandelier. And that is a butternut squash that I thought had died completely off, and then it came back to life. So I'm excited about that one. This plant I have been calling a zucchini since I planted it. And then it started growing fruit, and it's a lemon squash. Lemon squash are some of my absolute favorite squash, and I can see there's at least 2. This one is kind of bigger than I like to harvest it, but there's a little one back there, and then these will be ready this week. Love, love, love lemon squash. If you haven't had lemon squash, it's a really mild squash, hardly any seeds, and I like to saute it with eggs. I like to slice it and roast it. It's just a really great squash. You can cook it any way you can cook yellow squash or zucchini. It's really, really good flavor. I also have a butternut squash growing up behind there. And then I have grapes on both sides actually, and some flowers. And then look at my cute little gnome, guys. I mean, how cute is that face, right? He's just adorable. Here's the overview of the arches end of the garden. Oh, I also have some flowers in buckets. So here's a couple issues I want to talk about. I bought hanging flowers and hung on this, and they said full sun. It's just so hot lately, they died right away. So I had to move all my hanging flowers under shade. So I probably should just move this hanger out of the way. And then the other thing is this weed fabric, with any weed fabric really. The weed game in my garden is strong. So this is where there was like a little thin strip where the weed fabric didn't overlap. Look at that, it's just grass all the way back in there. Like I had planted something right here that died. Weeds take over so quick. So that's one reason that I stick with the fabric, and I have cardboard down and then fabric, and I still get weeds. Moving on to the middle section of my garden, which is gonna be everything to where that white sheet is, because there's a trellis right there. So from the white sheet back to me, back to the arch. We're gonna start with this kiddie pool. So like right here, see grass growing up? There's like a hole that's like just little tiny hole, and grass is just taking over. Also, this is onions and strawberries. Look at the grass growing in there. This was soil from bags that I put in. And I have big, huge clumps of grass that I can't pull out, because when I do, it's pulling out my onions. By the way, some of my onions are looking amazing. Really good. I think I need to hill them up, and I need to cut the tops, the dead tops off, because onions stop growing when they get brown and fall over like that. Strawberries just bloomed for a short time in June. So hopefully they'll spread and I'll have more next year. And then I also have growing in here, let's see if I can see one. Yep. Okay, so I will circle it on camera, but it's right there. That is called lamb's quarter. So those are other seeds. Obviously I did not plant them. They're a weed, but they're a beneficial weed, but they take over my garden. Here's another one. Look at that grass. All that's there is a little tiny hole from a staple in the weed fabric. So bell peppers are not putting on any bell peppers yet. I think I'm gonna come back in here and like trim out the bottom part of this. And I got them in the ground kind of late, so I've not given up yet. We'll see what they do. Along this trellis, I had several squash plants, and they just died. Just like flat out died. So I don't know what the cause was, but they have not grown well there. And then I've got these tomato plants, and they're not doing nearly as well as the others. And I think it might be due to the sprinklers. I use overhead sprinklers. I have one here and one down. It's like under that, beyond that white sheet. And they kind of spray differently. This one goes really fast, and I don't think that it gets as deep of water. I don't know for sure. But, or it might be because this is kind of a hill right here. Maybe this drains and they don't get as deep water. Anyway, the tomatoes over here are not doing as good as the ones back there in the arches are. I mean, can you guys see all that stuff growing back in the arches? That's amazing. Look at the vines there and all the way back there. I just love it. I come out here, it's so beautiful. All right, what else have I got? I've got 2 buckets of onions that I think I'm gonna have to harvest. The buckets don't really get a great water either. And I think, because the small kiddie pool onions are doing better. And I think it's something about this being down in there. They didn't get good water, they didn't get good sunlight, I don't know for sure. And then over here, once again, pasture grass growing up, and when I try to pull it out, I end up pulling out onions. I tried doing close planting, like I saw Mark on Self-Sufficient Me. I think it would have worked out nicely if the buckets system was better. It's hot. It's hot. I'm already getting sweaty. If I do onions in buckets again, I will do, I'll have the soil much closer to the top. I might do another kiddie pool because that worked really well with the onions. I think they just need shallower dirt and they need the water to stay closer to the top and they need more air, I think. That's my guess. I might also do them in shade next time. Another thing that I'm gonna do in shade the next time I plant them. The carrots are doing okay. This bucket is much better where they're not so thickly planted. Let's see if I've got any. I don't see any really ready to harvest right now. But I think when I come back and I'm ready to plant more carrots, I'm going to put them under the vines where they will have shade, under the arches. They got really dried out here. I have to come in specially and water them. Oh, wait. I see one back here. Hi. This one's pushing up. Yay, look at you. That's not a bad looking carrot. It's a little bit dried. So I have to come in and water them. The overhead watering does not work as well for the carrots either. This is the last third of my garden and it's doing absolutely wonderfully. So I have 1, 2, 3 beds of regular potatoes, 1 bed of sweet potatoes, and then I came back recently and I planted corn down the middle of the potato beds, and hopefully the chickens won't tear it up too much. I see a few little pieces sprouting up right in there. I don't know if you can see it. In this bed, I planted, what did I plant over here? Miniature pumpkins. What else? Maybe that's all. So my Kajori melons are not doing great. Planted 3 along here, and 1 came up and it's dying. So much for that. I've got, what kind of squash is this? Where's my sign? This is called, squash bugs. So I need to take that leaf away. This is, what is this called? Oh, this is that Italian squash. I forget the name of it. It's hard to pronounce. Cogizella, something like that. And then over here are banana squash. And look at that. That must be Japanese beetle damage too. These are banana squash, and then these are more lemon squash here. And look, in between them, corn. So I might get a couple crops of corn growing. We'll see. But that's about it. And then back here, I just have it covered with plastic because I didn't have anything to plant in there yet. Overall, my garden is doing amazing compared to last year. But man, the weeds, right? I've still got to get a handle on that. And bugs. Weeds and bugs. It's the challenge that I'm facing this year. But overall, I just love being out here. It's so beautiful. It makes me so happy.